and gentlemen, to a brand new video today. Today we are gonna try out the Mercedes F1 car. I've driven this car a few times. We're gonna be driving as Valtteri Bottas in the Mercedes, and we're gonna drive around the circuit of Austria. We're gonna do a 100% race, and we're gonna see how dominant we can win. And what I mean by that, we're gonna see basically, you know, we're gonna see how good the Mercedes is, number one, and secondly, if we win, how much we win by and how easy of a win will it be. Because for all we know, it may not be a great win. We may only win by a couple of seconds in the game, but also we may win by 20 odd seconds. So, you know, I honestly have no idea how much we're going to win by. Not only do I have no idea how much we're going to win by, but we may also lose as well in addition to that. So, you know, we could win, we could lose, we could do both. And yeah, we're going to basically see how much we can win by, how easy it is to drive a car, and basically then, you know, see if we can do the business. So basically we're going to start out front, I imagine, in the Mercedes, and let's go. So we're starting third then here in the Mercedes, which ain't too bad. And obviously, let's see how much we will win the Austrian Grand Prix by today. How dominant of a win can we have? So 71 laps of Austria is go, and already we're basically level pegging with Lewis Hamilton, our teammate, and already we're up into second place in the Grand Prix behind Charles Leclerc as we head up into turn 2. So yellow flag behind me, but in front is C Charles Leclerc. Down the inside, a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, nothing bad, but we got position. Leclerc broke very early there, I will say that for him, and there we go, we're already in the lead. Let's try and bridge a gap to those behind, and let's obviously try and win this Grand Prix, because that's our ultimate goal. Is to win this race. And I don't just want to win it, I want to basically see how dominant of a win we can make it. Like, over the rest of the field, how good is this Mercedes? So lap 2 of 71. And we've already got a 2-second gap over Red Bulls. Bit wide there. 1.9 seconds now over our teammate. So we got around 1.7 seconds after 2 laps. And by the looks of it, Leclerc and Hamilton are now side by side as we head down the hill into turn 3, and yep, Lewis Hamilton is past then Charles Leclerc here, as we've already got around 2.6 second gap to Leclerc. And a 2-second lead to our teammate. That's fastest lap, 1:09.4. So lap 4 of 71 laps to be completed here in Austria. And the gap back to Verstappen, 4.2, so yeah, quite a gap now building back to the Red Bulls. Gap back to our teammate around 2.5 seconds. So even a gap obviously opening up to our teammate. Obviously I'm going to be watching my teammate's progress, see how dominant he does as well today. Because, you know, I hope our teammate won't, well, be too much of a challenge, but I want to see also how well our teammate also does to hold on to second, if not come even and challenge us. That would be welcomed as well. But yeah, we've got to see also that. Our teammates already got like a 1.2 second lead over Leclerc. We've already got a 3-second lead, so we're well and truly out of the DRS range right now. As we are getting faster and faster as these laps go on. So right now, doing 1:09.4s, which is a pace I'm happy to run at, to be truthful. It's alright pace, like, it's not a bad pace. As we're on lap 6 of this race now, so yeah, laps are tumbling down. There's also sun starting to shine a little bit more now. And as sun does begin to shine, that's our fastest middle sector and fastest middle sector of the race so far. And also fastest last sector as well. So lap 7 and gaps 4 seconds. Already 7 seconds over Leclerc and basically the 2 Red Bulls. My teammate's got a 2-second lead over Albon, so he's got a pretty hefty lead. Every 10-15 laps we will pause, well, not pause it, but just go into the instant replay feature to show you the spread of the field, basically, and where we're at, and also the pace of the car as well, like, because basically 10 laps is a fair old pace. So still lapping in the 1.9s right now we are. Our fastest lap is a 190.72, so pretty decent. But we're lapping in the low 19s about. We do get a snap of oversteer there. But so far, over impression of this Mercedes, been easy to drive, no real problems, very, very comfortable, I feel, in the car. You know, I feel like the car's doing everything I'm asking it to do, if you know what I mean. I'm not, you know, if I tell it go one way, it's basically going that way that I'm directing it to go. And we've already got a 9-second lead over Max Verstappen. And we haven't even reached lap 9 yet. 8 seconds over Albon. 5 seconds over our teammates. Our teammates go around a 3-second lead back to Albon, basically. So a pretty good gap now. He's starting to open up. Also over his opponents as we head on to lap 9. Then of this Austrian Grand Prix. And the one thing we have not used in this race is a higher fuel mixture, nor have we used any overtake button yet. In fact, I'm gonna use the overtake button a little bit now. Why not? Give it a go. Which is quite unusual, because usually, yeah, you use the overtake button all the time. So we're not even running at necessarily our best pace at the moment. Like, we've barely let open the full taps, if you know what I mean. And that's the new fastest lap. So, right now, lap 10. I will pause, well, show you the gap of the field, and we'll have a look and analyse how we're doing so far. And just show you what's going on, basically, with everything. What lap we're doing on 23. So next time we'll pause it, we'll be on lap 23, by the way, after this lap. So we've completed 10 laps basically now as we come out of that final corner, and we are going to pause it just to show you basically the gap of the field that we've got going on here. So I'm going to take it right to there. So as you can see, we've obviously crossed the line to start lap 11. Hamilton is coming through that final corner, but then there's still a fair gap back to Alex Albon, as you can see here in his Red Bull. And he's even got a bit of a gap up to Max Verstappen, around a second or so, maybe 2 seconds at most. Then you can see the two Ferraris, and actually I think Vettel's gaining on Leclerc. Then, actually, it's a fairly decent sized gap even back to the McLaren, then the Racing Point of Perez, and then the other McLaren of Norris. Another big gap, again, back to the next car of Ocon, who I believe now this must be 10th. You know, so there are quite a few gaps opened up here. The Williams cars are firmly stone dead last, even though, having said that, they're only probably around 4 or 5 seconds adrift of right now at this point in the race of Kvyat. So yeah, it's not too bad, I suppose, in that sense. Just show you now quickly the actual lap times. I'll just show you my lap times. So you can see we're lapping roughly 1 minute 9s quite consistently. In fact, we've been lapping 1 minute 9s. Our worst lap was actually the last lap we've just done, which is 1 minute 9.7. But that's the worst lap since actual lap 2, where we did a 1 minute 9.6. So yeah, showing you what's going on. First sector actually we're doing a 17.3s roughly, 17.4s. Middle sector we're doing around the 30s, mid 30s sometimes, like on the last lap where we did our fastest laps. We're doing like 36, mid 30s. But on the not so fast laps we're doing the low 31s, and then the final sectors we're basically doing a 20.9 effectively in that final sector. If we go, let's say, to the Red Bulls, which is our, I guess, closest challenger, they're also doing 117.1s, a little bit slower than us maybe, arguably. In terms of the middle sectors, they're actually, well, this is how we can see, I think Max is on a personal best right now, but you can see Max is lapping almost 1.4 seconds slower per lap, which is a fair amount considering we're only on lap 10 and tyre wear hasn't even begun yet. Now if we go to, let's say, a midfield car, let's just use the Racing Point as that is considered 2019 Mercedes as it's been dubbed, and even that is 1.5 seconds adrift of our car, which is pretty slow. So yeah, and then if we go to the back of the grid, in fact it gets even worse. You can see we're lapping almost 4 seconds a lap quicker than the Williams car, which, yeah, poor old Williams. But yeah, that's how it looks right now. We will come back to that later once we've made our pit stops. And yeah, right now, how dominant we are being, well, we're only 6.9 ahead of Lewis, but over the rest of the field, well, to be honest with you, pretty dominant. Like, we've already got a 10-second gap back to Alex Albon on lap 11. Basically, in other words, we're 11 laps into this race and we're 10 seconds ahead of him, which is a fair old amount. So, lap 12. So, 1:09.4. So we're 8 seconds ahead now of Lewis, 11 seconds ahead of Albon, 12 seconds ahead of Max, 14 seconds ahead of the Ferraris. Effectively now we've got a roundabout pit stop ahead of Leclerc already on lap 13. So if we were to make a pit stop, we would probably just come out around 3 seconds behind Leclerc. So we're getting into that territory where we're actually that far ahead. We could, if we wanted to, consider making a pit stop ahead of Leclerc. So, in effect, Ferrari seem to be well off the pace, but only off the pace of ourselves. They are off the pace of Red Bull by the looks of it, but it does seem like they're a bit still too high up in the game mode. I think they should be nerfed a little bit, because that car is not a P5, P6 car. It's more of a P10, P11 car.
Second a lap. We've got an opportunity to look after the car here.
So Jeff just reminded me, got opportunity to look after the car due to the significant now lead we got on our teammate and on the rest of the field. Surprisingly, our teammate isn't, you know, obviously pulled away too much. He's around 3 seconds. And once he's got to that 3 seconds mark, he seems to have stumbled a little bit. As in, he can't pull away any further. Well, I do think maybe a part of that reason is because the Red Bull have seemingly upped the pace in the last few laps. Because now the pace is actually not quicker than us, but it is a little bit less. We're pulling out less over Red Bull than we are over, you know, well, than we were before. Now, it's a short lap here, and with the shortness of the lap, I am actually starting to wonder whether or not we will lap the two Ferraris today, because it's only 17 seconds. I know it's early on in the race to think about lapping, but 71 laps, that is basically, well, we're already 17 seconds ahead on lap 15, so we're 3 seconds for every 15 laps, so we should be able to lap both Ferraris at the moment. Possibly at this pace. But yeah, if we were to pit now, we would come out in 4th place behind Max Verstappen, which I think in a way just shows actually how dominant we've been today so far. I know this may be not the most exciting live stream you'll ever see or race you'll ever watch, and yeah, it probably isn't, but it answers the question, how dominant is Mercedes? And right now, I think the answer, well, we all know the answer, very dominant. But, on the game anyway, very dominant is also the answer. You know, you can just see here, the car's a piece of cake to drive, it's nimble, it's light, it goes wherever the driver tells it to go. And you know what? It's very fast. There's not one car that clearly better than the Mercedes.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes.
So rain in 10 minutes. Okay, that is intriguing to note. If there is rain on the way, do we make a pit stop? Considering it's over 10 minutes time, 10 minutes, so that's 10 laps out, but it does bring into the question, do we make a pit stop, do we not make pit stops? What do we do on the pit stop down front as well? Can you start to question that sort of stuff? Anyway, no need to focus on that too much as of yet.
careful. We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
So 20 seconds ahead of Leclerc. 14 seconds ahead of Verstappen. So basically starting to almost be a pit stop now ahead of Max Verstappen. Again, which is rather incredible really when you put it into perspective. We've only been running 18 laps and we're 15 seconds ahead of already Max Verstappen. It does make you think, what Mercedes built? It's an absolute beast. So, weather report.
We think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
So 15 minutes till rain. Now, is that the first car to be lapped in this race? I believe it will be. Danny Kvyat will be the first person to be lapped in this race, possibly. He has been shown blue flags. So blue flags are been waved for car number 16, I think, or 26? 26, ain't it? Yeah, car number 26. So, blue flag's been shown. So, right now, blue flags are being shown. For car number 26.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
As we now will start lapping. Kvyat is our first of all the cars to be then lapped in this Austrian Grand Prix. Nicholas Latifi is the next car due to be lapped here. As we overtake then, or lap now Latifi. Next up will be George Russell, then in also the Williams, and these are obviously the first few cars to be lapped. Obviously I believe Kvyat's only been lapped due to the fact he's made a pit stop, otherwise I don't believe he would have been lapped as of yet. So do bear that in mind. But obviously we are now at the stage where we are starting to lap, or have the ability to lap cars. So we've already lapped, as we do take a spin there. So I was going to say we've already lapped 3 cars after 22 laps. We're 24 seconds ahead of Leclerc. 25 make that, which is very, very good indeed. Now, I'm going to actually probably come in, well, I'm going to come in next lap. That would be the best thing to do, even if rain is due to come. Unless rain is imminent. Weather report.
Expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now.
So yeah, rain isn't imminent, or it's not due immediately. So, considering of our advantage, we might as well just play it safe here and go with the flow, if you know what I mean. So we are coming in this lap. We may even be able, if we're fast enough, to get out ahead of Hamilton here. We are going to turn up the engine and try it. See if we can get out ahead of Lewis Hamilton. It's not going to be an easy feat to achieve. Obviously, we're looking for around a 17 to 18 second gap to Lewis. That's the magic gap we're looking at. I think that surely is that gone, that gap. No, clearly not. So we're still able to maybe try and find that gap, and I think we may have found it just about. It's going to be close on pit exit. Let's see what we can do. So it's going to be quite close on pit exit, I say here.
Go, go, go.
How close, not too sure, but it will be close enough. So
Okay, stay clear of the
I think we've done it.
You'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the
We're going to find out. Have we got ahead of Lewis Hamilton? Yes, we have. So we are ahead now, not only in track position, but also in actual pit stops. We are now a pit stop ahead of our teammate, to be precise. And you may ask, why is that so important? Well, I'll tell you why. Because now, being a pit stop ahead, well, effectively he's going to lose a lot more time now. Lewis Hamilton will. Because he's a pit stop behind us. And you can just see, with the fresher rubber, in fact, we probably gain twice as much back now. And Hamilton's obviously dives off into the pits. So far, how dominant is this Mercedes? Well, very dominant's your answer, but you're now seeing obviously the amount we get and the advantage, and we're already 4/10 up on the best lap delta we've done all race long. So Verstappen very close also on the pit exit with Hamilton, and Hamilton's now 21. Remember, that gap before we made our pit stop was 17 seconds. After the pit stop, well, we're looking at 20 seconds, 21 seconds now, just through that one pit stop. Because basically, effectively, we've gained not only on track due to the speed of the car, but also the fact we, well, got extra, well, due to the fact, obviously, the pit stop was very, very good. And there you go, that's the net result. So, right, we're coming on to the back of, once again, more cars, to now, once again, start lapping. Obviously, we've already lapped cars in this race. I'm not sure whether we've lapped the Williams again. I think we may have. In fact, we probably must have, because it appears this is P18, so if this is 18th, this is 18th place here, Kimi Raikkonen, therefore I do expect, obviously, that's very decent, so yep. Lap now Kimi Raikkonen. So these, I believe, now cars we're actually lapping for real. Not like what we were doing prior. So lap 27 and we're already lapping basically some more back markers. These are like the true back markers in this race. These are the guys who's basically got no or got little, if any, pace. I may do a part 2 to this video, by the way, guys. I may end this at lap 35 instead and do a part 2 tomorrow. So you can label this as part 1 of our experiment to see how good is the Mercedes car. And, well, I think the answer to that question is it's a very good car. You can clearly see that the car is head and shoulders above everyone else's equipment. Like, yeah. Now rain is apparently or is inbound, so not sure how that will change things, if it changes anything. Like, in theory it shouldn't change anything, but you never know. Might change of how the car handles, may make our car better, worse. Honestly, have no idea, but that will be tomorrow to find out.
Let's use overtake and burn some
But
of this
we're 33 seconds already clear of Charles Leclerc. In fact, just to give you an idea what that looks like, if we can even show, well, we can't show it because obviously that'd be impossible to do, but just to give you an idea of what the gap looks like. So I'm going, basically heading down into turn 3. My teammate hasn't, well, it's about hitting the brakes for turn 1, basically, in other words. Obviously Verstappen ain't too far behind him, nor is Albon really, but Leclerc is going through the final corner effectively. Vettel's second final corner. So basically you can just work that out. We're turn 3, they're going into turn 1. And remember, it's a short lap around here. So, okay, I may say that's a lot, but it ain't that much. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for today, guys. Come back tomorrow to find out what happens in part 2. And then until then, have a great day.